Welcome to the Din Don Show. I'm Din.
And I'm Don. And we're here for some fun. Welcome to the 2020 Din and Don debate on Jonathan Byers versus Steve Barrington. Cue the intro. Who is the better love interest for Nancy Wheeler? The glorious Steve Barrington or the humble Jonathan Byers?
Okay, so I think I should go ahead and just say right now that I am for Steven. And you're for Jonathan.
I'm for Jonathan. So how this is going to go is that we decided last minute that we are going to have timers to discuss various points and why we think each person is the better candidate for Nancy Wheeler. We will do 2 minutes, and then we should we do like a 2-minute rebuttal?
Sure.
We'll do one round of rock paper scissors. Whoever wins the rock paper scissors will be able to go first in declaring their case. Okay.
All right.
Once, twice, shoot. Gosh. Once, twice, shoot. Okay. All right. You get to go first. All right.
So, in the spirit of rock paper scissors, since I won, we get to do Steve first.
Okay.
All right.
And your time begins. Oh, we don't want 1 second. And your time begins now.
All right. So I would say the first thing off with Steve is he is Nancy's first love. Right there is Nancy's first love. Now, of course, he was a jerk in the beginning. I'm going to be fully honest with that. He was a huge jerk. I mean, he not with the best crowd. I mean, friends were even worse than him. But on the other side of that, he grew up to a point, still very childish, but he grew up so that he can actually help Nancy. For example, in season 1, where he first sees the Demogorgon, he screams and runs away like a little girl. But then, as he's just about to leave, he realizes, you know what? No, I need to stay. I need to protect Nancy. So he runs back to the house, grabs the nail bed, and starts wailing on the Demogorgon. Which I think that was probably one of the first big things. Like, dude, that is awesome. And then second thing is he's great with kids. Season 3, Dustin and the rest of the gang, and he is fantastic. And he's just an all-around great guy at that point. And you realize that he's just honestly a great guy. He's always been a great guy at heart. I mean, he's always willing to adapt to the situation, and at that point, always wants to help out the kids, Nancy, with whatever happens. And then my last great point I would probably have to say is his hair. His hair is just fantastic. I mean, I wish I had hair like that. But I mean, I've got my nice afro-like hair, but honestly, I'm not going to be. Okay, a little bit of flattery right there, but I would have to say that's probably where I would go with it.
Okay, good. All right, so I'll let you be in charge of it.
All right, and your time starts.
So I do agree with a lot of the things that Din did say about Steve, especially that he is a jerk. For Jonathan is the underdog. I think that makes him likable in the beginning. He's someone who is not very, he's not someone that's kind of well liked. He's the outcast. He's a little awkward for whatever reason that might be. It could be because he came from a broken home where his dad was a piece of crap and left the family. One of the things that, and the other thing too that is against Jonathan is that he did take that picture of Nancy, which was not appropriate, and I think that is the one bad piece of evidence to support him. But he realizes it is wrong, and he tries his best to support Nancy. And even, I don't know, I think Jonathan liked Nancy for Nancy. And I don't think Steve didn't, but in the very beginning, at least in the show, it seemed like the only thing Steve really wanted was to get it on with Nancy. And I think that kind of puts Steve down a peg for me. He also, when he was caring, he was kind, but Steve also, when he saw Jonathan with Nancy in a room, he didn't just talk to her about it. He thought she was lying and went and spray painted the name slut on the movie theater, and it ridiculed her, it humiliated her. And I will agree though, Steve is redeemable. He comes back and he tries to apologize. He cleans up the graffiti. He wants to make sure that he takes care of Nancy and that Nancy's okay when he goes to the buyer's home and sees all of the hunting stuff. And he does come back. But I think that Steve is still very focused on himself. The fact that he didn't want to tell the police about Barbara being missing at his house is not very good, in my opinion.
All right. No, I'll definitely agree with you on that point. With Steve, when he didn't just talk to Nancy. No, I completely agree with you. Yes, that was really crap of him to do. But like you said, he's redeemable. And honestly, I would say a lot of these things, like both characters have their great upsides, but both characters have their downsides as well. Which, I mean, yeah, Steve. He really shouldn't have done that with the spray paint the slut on the movie theater sign. He really shouldn't have done that. But in the end, he did turn around. That's probably my biggest and greatest point. Turned around for Nancy. He grew up. In a sense, he grew a pair to actually being able to help Nancy where she at that point. Now, she may not have wanted it at that point, but she did at that point. And that's where I would say probably the greatest thing for her is because he's always willing to help. Now, in season 3, I mean, you didn't see a lot of Nancy and Steven together. In fact, it was mostly Steven and the other girl. At least that's what it was appearing to be. But he always loved Nancy from the beginning. And he will, as far as we've seen so far, will always love her. That's pretty much all I can say at that point.
Okay. You still have 40 seconds left.
His hair, man.
His hair. Do you forfeit the rest of your time?
I'll forfeit the rest of my time.
Okay. Then I'll just turn it back over to me. Yes, he does redeem himself. The one thing with Jonathan though is that, like I said before, he always liked Nancy, and he was always true to her. After he became her friend, he was the first one to believe her about the monster in the woods. Of course, he's the one that took the picture, and there was his mother who helped to push. There was his mother saying all the things that she had seen, all the monster stuff that had happened with her. But he believed her, and he worked with her, and they tried to work hard together to try and find Barbara and Will and to kill this monster. One thing that I remember from the first season is there's the scene where they go to the army surplus store and they're buying like the bear traps, the bat, the cartridges for the pistol. They buy all of this stuff, and when they throw it all into the trunk of Jonathan's car, Nancy makes the point saying, "I can't believe it. A week ago, or last weekend, I spent the entire time trying to find a top for Steve trying to find a top that Steve might like. And I don't remember what time frame, but it almost sounded like within an hour they were able to find all the stuff they needed to go monster hunt." And so I think that they're a really good team. Now, I mean, I think Steve and Nancy were good teams at different times, but I think that there was a certain chemistry, not just a romantic chemistry, but a certain chemistry that Nancy and Jonathan had, where they were able to work together, plan together. They had the same goals, they had the same mindset. Not to mention they have the same shared trauma. There's that scene where they're in the motel room and they show each other's scars on their hands and they kind of reminisce. They kind of think to themselves that, what happened. And I think even at that point too, Nancy even admitted that she waited for Jonathan. She waited for him to come back, and though it was a month's time, and whether or not that's a long enough time, she did like him. And I think even looking at Nancy, there are times where she stares at Jonathan where I don't think she just has compassion for the guy. I think for some reason she might like him a little bit, or might find him attractive just a little bit. And that might be me reading into it. I'm trying to think, what else did I have here?
I think you're might have gone because
Oh,
it just buzzed.
oh, I guess my time was up.
Okay. No, I'll admit they do have great chemistry. Jonathan and Nancy have great chemistry, and for the longest time, the first time I watched Stranger Things, I actually wanted them to get together. I could relate to Jonathan. And I was like, I mean, of all the characters I would love to be with, would be Nancy. But at the same point, that chemistry is more of friends, because that chemistry, like, yes, they do end up spending the night together on the season, the episode. But at the same time, she did that with Steve at the very beginning because she was very infatuated. So now, am I saying that those are just one night stands and they don't mean anything? No, they probably meant a lot to each and every character at that point. What would we have to say at that point? I honestly say it's really 50-50. I'm not saying that one character is better. I'm not saying one character is worse. On that point, I think we may just have to wait for season 4 at that point and have to see, will she choose him, Jonathan, or Steven, or not? I feel like this is definitely an open-end question at this point. Because Steve, he's a fantastic guy. He's redeemable. Jonathan, he's a fantastic guy. He's an underdog. Like, they're both fantastic guys. So, I don't know. We don't have a rebuttal at this point. I feel like we're just going back and forth, and I feel like we just have to kind of just put our feet down at this point and just wait. I don't know. What do you think?
That sounds like quitters talk.
No, I'm not quitting. I am not quitting. I'm honestly saying, because what I'm honestly just trying to say is they're both great guys.
They are both great guys. I guess we don't have to put.
Yeah.
We kind of made our point. No, they are both really good guys. Like I really liked in season 3. The debate. This debate hasn't ended yet. No. They're both great. Like I like them both. To me personally, I'm going to disagree with you though. I think that shocker. I mean, I'm not going to say there isn't a chance they might try to revisit the Steve and Nancy love thing. It wasn't much of a focus in the last season.
No, it wasn't. I'll definitely admit that.
And I think that for me, I don't know. It almost seems like that. I don't know. It seemed like that Robin and Steve had more chemistry. I mean, I realize that might not work because Robin is a lesbian and she. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to turn into anything. I thought Robin was a funny character, though.
She was a great character, honestly. In all of season 3 of the new characters, she was definitely my favorite.
So I would ship that, put the stamp of approval on that.
I think we both would.
So I guess the thing for me, one last thought with Jonathan is that, yeah, I mean, in season 3, I think Jonathan takes the back seat. Steve's kind of the star player, but not in a romantic way. Mm-hmm. Jonathan more kind of is just like, don't lose your job. Don't try and push your luck trying to find this dream of being a reporter, because they want to be able to try and buy a house, live together, start a life together, because they're both out of high school right now. But I think the other thing though is that Jonathan was always gonna work with Nancy no matter what. I mean, Steve in the second season, he kind of backs out from the relationship because he feels like that she's focusing too much on Barbara being gone and not focusing on Steve and Nancy, which in a way is understandable. I mean, I think there are times when people in a relationship may focus on something different than the other person.
I could say that would probably be for every relationship, depending on where they are in the relationship.
So yeah, and I don't know. I think if I remember correctly from the season, Steve just kind of leaves it at that, and just kind of is like, almost again back to like, whatever, Nancy, you don't understand. I guess you really don't love me. Whereas with Jonathan, he's willing to go to the ends of the earth with her. I mean, even in the third season when it was hard, because they were going to lose their jobs at the local newspaper, he sacrificed and he went with her and he worked to be by her side. And so I think that both of them are loyal, but I would say because Jonathan's kind of willing to walk to the end of the earth with her, a little more loyal in my opinion.
No, you have a great point with that. You
Steve
really
has
do.
great hair though.
You've got great hair.
I would love that hair.
No, like honestly, in all sense, I mean, you go back and forth about it. I mean, I feel like a lot of people would probably be more on Jonathan's side. I'm gonna be honest about that.
I don't know, because as I was watching again, they were watching the season again, the first season, I was actually kind of rooting for Steve.
Really?
So I mean, you can be surprised. But that's going to wrap it up for the 2020 Din and Don debate. Let us know your thoughts in the comment. Who do you think debated better? Who had better points? Any suggestions on how we can debate better with one another? You know, please be honest. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, please be honest. We love to hear your thoughts. Comment down below. Like this video if you liked it.
And tell us who won.
Tell us who won. I'm afraid to look at that, to be honest. I'm afraid to look at that.
I am too, because my pride's going to be hurt really bad. But of course, I might be like Jonathan, and I might be humble about it. So,
or you might be like Steve and just...
Or I might be like Steve, and my hair might grow taller. I don't know. So.
Oh, that's funny.
But anyway, thank you guys for watching. This was kind of fun little video. Again, please, if you like this, subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends, comment down below, and until next time, I'm Don.
And I'm Din.
And we are here for the win.